freaking hot out here. Ridiculously hot out here. What is up, Predators? It's Travis here with Apex Predator Outdoors. Today we're going to be talking about the crafted Archery Aero 1, one of the meanest broadheads that I've ever shot, and one of the sharpest and the coolest thing about these, and we just talked to Daniel Kraft on this channel, so if you didn't catch that podcast where we're talking to Daniel Kraft about how he makes these broadheads, go check that out right now. But we're talking to him about these broadheads, and what's really cool about the story behind them is that they came out of a necessity, and that real necessity was to have something razor sharp, but something also that can break bone, be resharpened, and then be reused back in the field. And I think that is definitely what has been created here with the crafted Archery Aero 1. So the Aero 1 has a unique design. So it's not, on the face, it doesn't look a whole lot different than a lot of single broadheads out there. It's like, okay, well, this is kind of a wide cut single bevel broadhead. It's got a little bit of a chisel tip on it. Okay, like what's really different about this? And so I think it hits a lot of things really good. The crafted Archery Aero 1 is a great balance of being able to have a good cut, the ability to break bone, being made out of a soft material so that that material can flex but not be too soft and be completely just smashed whenever it hits an animal. But also there's a problem with some broadheads where they're actually too hard, and so if the blade of the broadhead is too hard, what can happen is it can actually shear off pieces, and whenever you go and you have a broadhead break off inside of an animal, that means that you're not cutting anymore. So as long as this thing stays intact, it allows you to go in and keep cutting as it passes through the animal. And whenever you have a penetration, or whenever you have a shot from a single bevel broadhead, this does do that continued rotation through the animal there. How that works is that you got a flat spot here and you got a flat spot here. So naturally, as it's passing through a tissue, those flat spots there, it's basically being pushed on. Much like the bevel of a needle. When a needle is inserted, if you've got a needle that has kind of a, see if I can do this here, has a bevel like this, whenever you push that needle into something, it's going to want to dive down, right? It's pushing on this surface here. It's the same thing with the crafted Archery Aero 1 and a lot of single bevel broadheads, where basically this part with the bevel here is being pushed upon, and so it's going to naturally spin through the anatomy just like that. So it's going to go to that way. This is a right single bevel. They also make them in a left single bevel as well. So if you have it left fletched arrows, then you want to get the left single bevel, and here's why. The crafted Archery Aero 1 has a very unique feature built into it, and that is that the Aero 1 has a scoop. This aerodynamic scoop here, what it does is basically it allows your broadhead to also create some rotation. So other than just your fletchings creating the rotation, your broadhead can actually create rotation as well. I'll overlay a little video right here where basically we show you what, even without fletches on your arrow, you can get rotation from your arrow just by having this broadhead on there. So lately I've been using these Aero 1 broadheads from Crafted Archery. I highly recommend them. You know why? Even without fletches on here, got my little wind tunnel test here, you can have this broadhead steer your arrow. And some people claim to do that. They claim that, okay, well, it's going to actually aid in rotation instead of hindering it. But this one right here is so much more different. And it's such a beautifully simple design. Because again, sometimes simplicity is going to be the way to go, because the less complex the design is, the less you have a chance of it breaking or something smashing on there. So this right here is a truly solid broadhead here. You see it's got that scoop there. So what happens is, as air passes over, it's going to hit that scoop and it's going to push on it, much like a helical fletching. So as it flies through the air, it's going to scoop on that and it's going to push it until it makes contact with the animal, okay? And you see it's going to be in the same rotation as it goes through the animal, right? Because you've got the scoop here, so it's going to be pushed upon that way. Same thing with the bevel right there is going to be pushed upon that way, so it's going to keep turning in that same direction as it goes through the animal. Before we get too far into this video, guys, I wanted to stop real quick and just tell you about Easy Veins. Easy Veins is the vein of my choice. These are the fletches and veins that I put on my arrows because I believe in them. These are high quality, durable, easiest fletching system that you'll ever use. And so if you like something that allows you to stay in the field and you allow something that allows you to replace your fletches on the fly in the field, this is the fletching system for you. So don't worry about fletching jigs. No more fletching jigs. Get rid of the fletching jigs. Use half as much glue or less than half as much glue and have a custom helical system. You can actually customize the helical of these arrows or these fletches whenever you order them. So go check them out there, easyveins.com.au. Go check that out and use the code 10% off plus 2 free veins if you want to get a discount. I'll put that right at the bottom of the screen here. You get a discount on your veins, or click the link below in the description and get yourself a discount on your Easy Veins, guys. Do yourself a favor. Save your time, save your money, do the Easy Veins. Great for FOC builds too. So thanks Easy Veins for sponsoring this video. And without further ado, guys, let's do further. So I'll let Daniel Kraft tell you about this, but he basically, coming from racing drag cars, is where he got the idea for this.
I went with a single bevel blade because I like the idea of the rotation as it goes through the animal. I guess the strange thing about the design is that it didn't come from, with the scoop on the back of the Broadhead, it didn't come from a hunting perspective or anything like that. Drag racing, so I was crewing on a pretty successful car, and with that, it was the class that we're in. It's pretty restricted, and a lot of the steering of the car, especially when the front wheels were in the air, was done from the back with the wing on the back of the car. And a lot of people look at a wing and think that, you know, it's the pressure on the top of the wing that pushes the back of the car down, but it's more the negative pressure underneath the wing. Just design the scoop to try and create a bit of a negative pressure to help rotate the Broadhead and rotate the whole arrow assembly as it's going through the air.
So the Aero 1 Broadhead, as you can see, has got a 30-degree bevel on it. This is a very, very heavy-duty bevel here. 45 Rockwell hardness, which is, again, I think the perfect balance between soft and hard material, because again, you don't want it to be too hard. If you had something that was thin and made out of something incredibly hard like tool steel, it can actually snap and shear a lot easier than something that's a little bit more malleable. And so if it's too soft, though, what's going to happen is you're going to have the thing bend and, you know, basically just torque and distort its shape, which is going to make the flight characteristics and honestly the reusability of that thing not very good. So I think this is a really good balance. 45 Rockwell hardness is, like I say, a really good balance of soft and hard, and I think it's a great deal. So enough about talking about stats, talking about why this thing's really cool. I think the thing that you really want to see is what can this do to a live animal. And I have what I think is one of the coolest shots that I've ever had with a Broadhead here, that I've ever seen with a Broadhead here, and that is on a feral hog. So basically I was able to put this Broadhead through the back ribs of and all the way through the front of the skull of a feral hog. The feral hogs are notorious for being able to take a lot of shots and not go down. My buddy Dean just put 3 arrows in a hog recently, and that thing was still kicking. So like I say, they can take a lot of damage, but if you put something through their skull, they are not going anywhere. And that's exactly what I did. But I didn't just go straight forward through the skull. I came through the back and out the front of the skull with this Broadhead. But what's even cooler than that, guys, is that I was able to take this Broadhead and I was able to resharpen it with a knife sharpener. Dan Kraft on his website also sells a Broadhead sharpening tool you can keep like in your wallet or in your pocket, a little credit card size thing. But basically you can go and you can resharpen this and then you can take it right back out in the field and reuse it. And that is exactly what I did. So we were able to just sharpen this thing back up after putting it through several bones. I put it through rib bones and I put it through a skull. I was able to just sharpen it up and reuse it. I mean, come on guys, what other broadhead can you do that with? Can you do that with the Rage? I 100% guarantee you cannot. Can you do that with a lot of, you know, single bevels? Probably not, honestly, because there's a lot of them out there that use like a ferrule system or something like that, or they use replaceable blades. And if you put those things through bone, they may not survive that. I'm sure there are some solid single bevels out there that could probably do that as well. But here's the thing, and like I say, this is coming from the mouth of Dan Craft himself. Whenever he created these, he wanted this to be something that could be reused over and over again. He said,
yeah, I went out a couple of weeks ago with a few mates, and 3 out of the 4 of us emptied our quivers by lunchtime.
wow.
On different animals. So it's not uncommon to want to reuse your arrow up in the mountain. So that was another thought, that I wanted to make sure things were solid, so that if you had the opportunity, you could pick your arrow back up and make sure it was right to go again.
I love independent archery companies that make stuff like this, where it's you made something based on a need, based on somebody saying, hey, this is a thing that I don't have that I do need to have. And that is what's really awesome about these broadheads. Let's talk a little bit about the flight characteristics. So like I said, being that this has a really nice scoop on it to help aid in that rotation, the flight characteristics is super easy to shoot. This is grouping easily with all my field points and various different field points as well. So here they are. This is one, these are actually 2 that I shot through some hogs here. These are ones that landed true and did their job, put the animals down. Really good stuff here. This one right here particularly is a real dirty looking one here. This one was actually one that went actually through the entire hog and out the front of the skull. So very impressive shot, very impressive broadhead. The flight is amazing, so couldn't wish for more on these. They have these in various weights. These are the 125 grain heads here that go all the way down to a 75 grain and up to, I believe, a 150. These here are ones that I've shot into animals already. What's really amazing about these is this one here. I haven't sharpened this one, but this one right here, I was able to sharpen it right back up and take it right back into the field, and it worked amazingly. So I don't know if you can see this or not, but as I pull on the arrow to get it out, the arrow is actually rotating. So it's telling me that we are definitely getting some rotation as we go through the target with that broadhead. So that single bevel is basically pushing the arrow through like that as it spins. So, oh man, gotta get it moving. There it comes out, good. All right, let's get at it and let's shoot it again. And so the weight is really consistent even after sharpening. And guys, yeah, this is just, it's lights out. These things are amazing. Best broadhead I've ever shot, and what I'm going to continue to shoot here in 2022. So thanks for watching this video, guys. Go check out Dan Craft at craftedarchery.com. It's crafted-archery.com. Let me clarify. So go check these out. If you're a local bow shop and you want to get some of these, like I say, contact Dan, because these things are just outstandingly amazing. I'll put some discount codes down here on the bottom where you can actually save some money by going and visiting their site and making a purchase. Like I say, these are an amazingly well-crafted Australian archery product. And man, those guys in Australia have been just knocking it out of the park lately. And I think it's because they are like just born and bred into this hunting environment. There's a lot of opportunities out there to shoot, not only small, fast-moving game like goats and things like that run. They have feral goats everywhere in Australia, which is amazing. But they also have a lot of big game as well. So it's a broadhead born out of those circumstances that is just proven itself again and again to work well on anything that you could shoot in the field. So guys, as always, thanks for tuning into this video. Thanks for watching the channel. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, because we can bring you more of these reviews, and you're going to be bringing you some more hunts this year with the Crafted Archery Aero 1, this amazing, beautiful, sexy broadhead. So thanks for tuning in, Predators, and as always, keep defying the odds.